Deck building is one of my favorite parts about Yu-Gi-Oh! There's so many unexplored archetypes, strategies, and win conditions to tinker with that they all can't be contained in a 40-card list. However, what is important about making a deck work is its consistency. If you want to envision endboard, how often you get to that point is what's most important. That's why today I'm here to show you what I think is one of the greatest opportunities in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! To make your favorite deck consistent. This engine provides you with enough gas to find your starter, extender, or put just up a great endboard piece. Today, we'll be looking at the Superheavy Samurai engine. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my overall guide of Superheavy Samurai. This engine is one of the most flexible and craziest engines I've ever seen in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. If you do not know what the Superheavy Samurai cards, if you haven't watched a Luke Von Karma replay or don't know exactly what these cards can do, let me go ahead and break it down for you to start things off. Superheavy Samurai Prodigy Wakaushi states, if you have no spell traps in your graveyard, you can place one Superheavy Samurai Pendulum monster from your deck, except itself, in your other Pendulum zone, then special summon this card. This is its Pendulum effect. The monster you'll be placing in its other Pendulum zone is this card, Superheavy Samurai Monk Big Ben K. This card says, if you control a Super Heavy Samurai monster, which you just did with Wakaushi, it says you can add a Super Heavy Samurai Soul monster from your deck to your hand. Now there's a number of different souls that we have access to with this. Soul Booster is a 4 that lets you target a Super Heavy Samurai monster you control, equip it from hand, equip it to it, treat it as a tuner, and if you have no spell traps in your grave and this card is equipped, you can special summon this card. That's the same action with Soul Horns, while getting a bonus effect, and Soul Claw with a bonus effect. So, what this means is that with just one Wakaushi, you have access to Rank 4 material, Synchro 5 material, Synchro 6 material, Synchro 8 material, or with one special card, Tilting Entrainment, Synchro 12 material. This engine is so flexible, and I highly recommend it when it comes to brewing and coming up with new kinds of ideas for your favorite decks, and I'll be the one to go ahead and list a few of them off as I ramble on. But we're not even done with Wakaushi just yet. If you Synchro Summon this monster, you have its monster effect. This first effect does not really matter. This is a Super Heavy Samurai lock. If this card is added as Synchro material, if this card is used as Synchro material and added to your extra deck face up, you can place it in your Pendulum zone. So not only do you get a Synchro 8, 4, 1, a Synchro 8, a Synchro 5, or a Synchro 6, or a Synchro 12 with Tilting Entrainment, you get 8 scales 8 through 1. So any 2 to 7 monster you can Pendulum summon out instantly. And that's not all. With Super Heavy Samurai Motorbike, you can, if you have no spell traps in grave, discard it and add a Super Heavy Samurai monster from deck to hand. It being a level 2 tuner is also relevant for some other plays you can do with some of the Excel Stardust Synchron in order to go into that and then bring this monster back. Oh, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Also, Soul Piercer, if sent to grave, can add a Super Heavy Samurai monster, so if you want to go and use your normal and find another extender, you can link them off or take them however you'd like. If sent from field to grave, add it. And then you have scales, and you have further extender, and it is crazy. The biggest downside, of course, is that this is the thing you must do first, with it being a lock from activating pretty much anything you want to do, if you have a spell trap into the graveyard. So either get something that banishes itself, or play a monster mash, or just do this first. People have been utilizing the Ostinato engine to go ahead and have a greater effect, but I'd say it's even less flexible because the rank 4s that you're required to do, it requires you to have an empty board, which this doesn't lock you from. It also provides it so you may have some extra bodies for further plays there, sure, but the rank 4s that you're wanting to get, that's what Wakaushi really supplements. All that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about some of the Synchro plays you can go ahead and start to do, and this is just going to be a teaser for some of these things. We'll start with the 5s over here, actually. We'll go up. So first off, newly at 3, Ib the World Chalice Justiciar. If Synchro summoned, sent from field to grave, special summon a World Chalice from deck to graveyard, or if Synchro summoned, add a World Legacy card from deck to hand. Get any World Legacy card, bring itself out, it's a tuner, go for more plays, have scales up too. Beautiful stuff. Garden Rose Maiden for your fun little sub-replay games. Add Black Garden from deck to hand. That card is a custom card that essentially ends up providing so much for all kinds of FTK bullshit. You also have Angelica, Princess of Noble Arms. If special summon, add Horn of Olafana, a card that mentions Noble Knight and Emperor Charles from deck to hand. And when a card or effect that targets this card is on the field, or when this card is targeted for attacks, send a Fire Warrior from deck to graveyard and banish this card to the end phase, then special summon a Roland from deck or extra deck. You can find plenty of ways to go ahead and target this card with any kind of effects, and you also get to search anything when it comes to a card that mentions Noble Knight, Emperor Charles. I'm sure there's something you can do. This card is a I thought this had Wormlock. It's not. Just add a Yang Zing card from deck to hand with Danglong, and then you could send a worm from your deck to graveyard, become the levels less. Oh, man, crazy stuff. For 6s, there's a few cool things we could do. Muddy Mud Dragon can be used as substitution for a fusion material, and you can synchro summon it using itself, and another material as for all fusion monsters you control. So it's a fusion summon on field with itself and another monster, and it can substitute for itself. I like to go ahead and try and experiment this with a dragon deck in order to go into Dragoon, because it can treat itself as Dark Magician. Crazy stuff off of a synchro summon. Blackwing Boris Storm the Wicked Wind. When Synchro Summon sends a Blackwing monster from deck to graveyard, it becomes the same level as that monster. Off of a 6, instant out, synchro, tuner, bring itself out, utilize the scales. Cool. Just insane stuff you could do there. And Immortal Dragon, during your main phase, send a zombie monster from deck to grave and becomes the level. This card level becomes a difference of the original levels of that monster and this card. Sending any zombie from the deck to the graveyard is crazy stuff. Now we're going to go move on to the Synchro 8s. Tilting Entrainment, like I mentioned. If this card is Synchro Summoned, special summon level 4 or lower Pendulum monster from your hand or face up extra deck. Being that you can go Wakaushi, bring out Big Benkei, Soul Guy, add Soul Guy Booster equip, Soul Guy Booster special, Synchro into this, Tilting Entrainment, special this back out, Synchro again into a 12, and then bring this back into the scale. So many generic 12s you can go to. You can go into the Centurion packages if you'd like. What I've liked to do is go into the actual Super Heavy Samurai, like Synchro 12, that just has a 4K body. If you use a spell trap, it says right here, Brave Masurawo, whatever. It'd be able to have a 4K body, and if your opponent activates a spell trap, you can draw until you have 3 in your hand, meaning that you can go full combo and then draw further for more for follow-up if they activate any spell trap. Cool. Speaking of Centurion Prima Primus is not locked behind this, and if it was Synchro Summoned, add an emblemic card from deck to graveyard or graveyard to hand, then to destroy 2 cards, 1 on each field. Sure, just why not? Being able to add any emblemic card is pretty good for the Centurion deck, and if you don't want to go ahead and go for any of the major Centurion plays to start with, you can always place these in the scales and then add that, or maybe have a light Centurion package, including with Auxilla, being able to, during the end phase, place a non-Synchro Centurion monster that is banished your graveyard, and you can Synchro Summon, add a Centurion card from deck to hand, making it so that the package can be utilized in a smaller fashion, perhaps in a Super Heavy Samurai deck. You can add a small Centurion package. In a Centurion deck, you can add a small Super Heavy Samurai package, however you would like. For other Synchro 8s, Diabolantis, the Menacing Mantis. If this card is Synchro Summon, set an insect or plant up to the number of insect and or plant monsters for your deck to the graveyard up to the number of non-tuners used for Synchro Summon. What you would normally do is you have 2 main options here. You of course have Goki Pull to add a level 4 insect from your monster for your deck to your hand. If you had a normal, special summon it, and you can destroy a monster in the field with attack greater than or equal to the special summoned. Bringing out any level 4 while you also have pen scales up, meaning you can pen scale that up immediately. Pretty good. You can go into the, oh my goodness, what is it? You can go instantly into the Resonating Insect special, link these 2 off, and then Resonating Insect gains its effect, or you can make it a tuner with Diabolantis effect, because if you control the Synchro Summon card, target an insect or plant you control, choose a tuner to the end of this turn, turning that into that, getting the Aura Blast, the new Synchro 12 Battle Wasp, and go into that and get the special out that way. Whew, 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 whew. You also have further extension plays with going into 9s with Superheavy with Karakuri Steel Shogun MDL00X Boredo. When this card is special synchro summon it, you can special a Karakuri monster from deck, meaning you're able to go into Shirokunishi, and then Shirokunishi is able to synchro those two off into Burebu. Special summon a Karakuri from deck, meaning you could go into from an 8 to a 9, or if you'd like, you can go from an 8 to a 12 using Karakuri Watchdog MDL313 Saizan. You have Ryzeal Duo Drive if you want to use the Xyz portion of this, meaning that for any 2, you could just special summon, attach 1 Ryzeal from graveyard, or during your main phase, detach 2, add 2 Ryzeal cards, different names for your deck to your hand. If you want to go ahead and get your Ryzeal play started without having to commit too much to anything, you could go to Duo Drive. Cool, cool, cool stuff. Another thing, Infernal Flame Banshee, you get to attach 1 material from this card, take any Pyro from your deck to your hand, and with the banning of original Sinful Spoils and the engine being gone, this is possibly one of the best ways to get more consistent plays for your Snake Eye cards. Being able to add Ash or Poplar to special summon itself out. This is what the deck needs right now. It is on life support, I am telling you. Battlenet Boxer King Dempsey lets you take any level 4 or lower Fire Warrior monster or Battlenet Boxer spell trap from your deck and either add to hand or send it to graveyard, meaning that you can either Foolish any warrior or add any Battlenet Boxer spell trap. You have, of course, Traptrix Pingicula. While it has material, it's unaffected by traps, and unaffected the same type of cards as material, so you're locked in. It's unaffected by machine types. You can attach material, add a Traptrix monster from deck to hand. Adding any Traptrix card in the game, pretty good. You're able to go into your Link 1 plays with the other Traptrix monsters, and if you already have the scales up, who cares if you go ahead and do this play first and then add spell traps to your graveyard? You still have some options there. Magic-y Spirit Vipartu, if Xyz summoned, detach 1 material, add a level 4 or higher normal monster from deck or graveyard to your hand, and you can add not only the Magic-y monsters, you can add cards like the Sue Ships, Blue Eyes, a ton of different options you have if you need to go and have normal monsters in your deck for whatever reason you want. You can't go into 4 or lower, so it's hard to do with the plants, and it's hard to do it in Fiendsmith, but I think that this is still a pretty decent option. Speaking of decent options, we have Spriggan's Merrymaker. Now this card, if you didn't know, it's a little bit of a secret sort of hidden sauce you can do to go into UDF. See, what you do is if Synchro special summoned, send a Spriggan's monster from deck to grave, send anything you'd like, then you can rank that up into Gigantic Champion Sargass by Xyz summoning over it, using it as material. And while it has material, you can add a Spriggan's or Therion card. You add Tally-Ho Spriggan's, Tally-Ho, detach 3, add a Spriggan's monster. You now have 2 monsters that one added, the other one sent. And lastly, the properly Xyz summoned Spriggan's Merrymaker, meaning you can get 2 4s on field with Merrymaker, Xyz over that, get some other kind of advantage, and then go into UDF. What the hell? You can go into any of these 4s that I'm talking about right now, because they're all generic. Galagranite, add Nib. Add Nib, why not? Add any rock from deck to grave. Oops, excuse me. That's your teams, not mine, don't worry. That's my teams, not yours. Oh my goodness, I just scared half of you. 4 Strix, once per turn, detach a material, add a level 4 Dark Wing Beast monster from deck to hand. Blackwing, Raid Raptor combos for free? Why not? Why not? And finally, Utopic Sage. This one is one of the ones I was struggling most to find with for any particular options. Detach 2 special ZW or ZS monster from deck, and then you can only attack with number monsters, and you can't special summon except Xyz monsters. Oh! Never mind, I almost forgot one of the craziest Xyz monsters in the game for an archetype that isn't really supported. Let's go ahead and go over here. Where are you? Where are you, mister? I know, I need to find the king. Where's the king at? There you are, King of the Fairolymps. Attach him. You can attach a material, add a reptile from deck to hand and on once per turn. all of these sorts of different budget decks, all these different kinds of decks that can utilize this engine in particular. This engine is cheap, folks. It's something that you should definitely be considering if you're wanting to go ahead and play, cook up some brews, some new kinds of things for your deck, and really play in a new kind of style. Check out this engine, check out what you can do, what you can build, how you can do it, and hopefully you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you would like, please be sure to hit like, comment, subscribe, do all of that down below. I greatly appreciate it. My name has been Doc Conrad Yugioh. Let me know in the comments what other kinds of cards I kind of missed in this video, and I will talk to you all later. Take care, everybody. See ya!